Hey JHS teachers, we wanted to take a few minutes to explain and clarify some more things when it comes to remote attendance. Now, as everybody knows, attendance is very, very important, and it's equally important that we get it accurate and that it's done as quickly as possible. So we want to run through a few things with remote attendance today, and then also give you some other reminders of things coming up at JHS in the next few days. So I want you guys to know that we are committed as an administrative team to listen to you and listen to your suggestions and to tweak things and to make them better as we go through this very, very challenging year and very, very challenging remote learning process. So, two things you really have to be able to master if you are going to take quick and accurate remote attendance. And the first one is Skyward, okay? And a lot of this is a review, so we'll go through it pretty quickly. So guys, remember with Skyward, okay? Your in-person kids get done the same way they've always gotten done, okay? Remember that anything in Microsoft Teams cannot be used for in-person attendance, okay? You can give assignments to your in-person kids through Teams, but for attendance purposes, Teams should only be used for your remote learners. So when it comes to Skyward here, okay, remember that by default, all kids are marked present. That's the default setting. So it's very, very important that the morning after we go in and we change that default to one of two things. We sent out that email earlier today. Remember, in-person remote learners in Skyward, one of two things, either RA or A. So remember, it's either RA for remote asynchronous, or you're marking them A for absent. Remote asynchronous, RA, it's a good thing, means they've met one of those three criteria. Absent is a bad thing, they did not meet one of those three criteria. So the morning after, so for today's Tuesday, right? You should not mark anything in Skyward for your remote learners today. Nothing. Don't even touch it today for Tuesday's attendance. Now on Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, you will come back in either before school or during your conference, and you will take those remote learners for Tuesday and you will mark them either RA, which means present for a remote learner, or you'll mark them absent. Don't just leave it alone. They have to be RA or A. Only two choices there, okay? So the way that looks when we get the report, when me or Tiffany or Sarah Traylor looks at the report, you want every remote learner in the attendance sheet to have the @ sign, which means you mark them in attendance RA, or you want it to have that, which means you mark them absent. So only two choices. Do it the day after, and here's an easy way to remember it. Do it the day after, RA or A. Do it the day after in Skyward, RA or A. Next thing I want to talk about real quick, and I'm going to mark this out and just go number 2 down here. So this is the second thing when it comes to remote attendance. And I'm going to call this the Insights spreadsheet, okay? So this is the thing we made an announcement about earlier this afternoon. Hope everybody was excited about that. The X's, the OneDrive spreadsheet with all the X's that didn't update and it was very tedious, that is thankfully a thing of the past. We've adjusted, we've innovated just like we're all doing this year, and we're going to go with something a lot easier and a lot more accurate with a lot more information, and that's in Insights. Now, Sarah Traylor is going to be sending out several emails and a video about how to do and how to use that Insights spreadsheet accurately. So remember, Skyward the day after, and then the Insights spreadsheet you will upload to that JHS remote learning team. You'll upload that the Monday after, okay? So for your remote learners this week, the week of August 31st through September 4th, you will go into that remote attendance group, the Lisa Daily group, the one we showed you several weeks ago. You will go in there, and instead of doing that X's spreadsheet, you will simply upload a spreadsheet that you get from Microsoft Teams Insight, put it in that folder. And you'll learn how to do that through the emails this week from Sarah Traylor. So Skyward the day after, RA or A, and then this new spreadsheet through Insights, which replaces the X's spreadsheet. You'll do that the following Monday for the week before. So really only 2 things moving forward. And remember, when it comes to that Insight spreadsheet through Microsoft Teams Insights, that you follow those directions that are going to be provided to you by Ms. Traylor in the next few days. Okay? Next thing I want to talk about real quick. Now, this is the last thing about remote attendance, and we're going to call this the orange flyer, or let's call it the orange sheet. This is what was placed in your mailbox this afternoon, the afternoon of September 1st. Okay, this is a one-time thing. And what this orange sheet does is it explains to you how to use Microsoft Insights to create a spreadsheet to track your remote learners from the beginning of school to right now. Because what we're going to have to do, me, Tiffany Jacobson, Sarah Traylor, Sarah Stevens, is we're going to go back for you and we're going to retroactively make sure your attendance for the first 2 weeks of school is accurate. We have a lot of blanks, I will call them, in Skyward. So that's why we told you guys to do RA or A. As we've learned this process the last few weeks, we have a lot of kids that are remote learners with just dashes, and the dash means present. So we're going to have to go in and use what you upload from the orange sheet to retroactively correct attendance from the first day of school all the way up until last week. So we're going to do that for you. We want to take that workload off of your plate. The orange sheet is how you're going to help us with that retroactive process. The outlines, the instructions that are gone over on that orange sheet is just a one-time thing, and we needed you to do that as quickly as possible so myself, Tiffany Jacobson, Sarah Traylor, and Sarah Stevens can get that going and get that finished as soon as possible. Okay, that's it about remote attendance. And as everybody knows, it's very complex. And I see Mr. Traylor smiling because it's a very detailed thing. If you have any questions, guys, please continue to reach out to me, Sarah Traylor, or Tiffany Jacobson. We really need to get this right. And if we can do it as quickly as possible, that makes everybody's life easier and less stressful. And we can focus on what really matters, which is the learning of our school. Okay, I want to talk about tomorrow's Lunch and Learn. So we're very happy to unveil this for our staff. This is going to be a year of a lot of changes, a lot of new things. So it's very, very important that we as an administrative team support our teachers and staff members as much as possible. So we have our first 2020-2021 Lunch and Learn tomorrow, and it's during A and B lunch with our academic dean, Ms. Sarah Traylor, in room 137. Room 137 is our new computer lab. Remember 121, we turned into a COVID clinic. So 137, the new computer lab. It's also Coach Armstrong's old classroom. That's where the Lunch and Learn will be on Wednesday, September 2nd. Next thing I want to talk about real quick, guys, is Picture Day. Okay, Picture Day is going to be next Wednesday, September 9th. Miss Melissa Vine has worked really, really hard to try to put together a plan that keeps our students, our teachers, and our classes as socially distanced as possible when they go down to the auditorium for pictures. English teachers are going to help out, as they always do, so much with this. We really, really appreciate the English teachers for taking on that responsibility. They do a phenomenal job with that. Thank you, English teachers. If you are a staff member that wants your picture taken, and we need every staff member to have their picture taken, make sure you comb that hair, look sharp, and show up either in the morning or at some point during the day, maybe during your conference period or your PLC, or even during your lunch period, to get your staff picture taken in the auditorium Wednesday, September 9th. Next thing I want to talk about real quick, guys, is C lunch. So lunch, A and B lunch, we said this in the weekly preview yesterday. Lunches have been going awesome. Our cafeteria workers, our assistant principals have worked really, really hard to make those lunches so good. But the simple fact is the lunches are just too large. For distancing purposes, we need to limit as much as we possibly can the amount of kids in the cafeteria. So we will be moving next week, the Tuesday after Labor Day, to a 3 lunch schedule. Now, what will this mean for you as teachers? Well, it won't mean a whole lot. Your lunch period might change, and we'll be informing you later on this week about whether or not you will have A lunch, B lunch, or C lunch. Most of the bell schedule will not alter very much. It'll only change during 4th and 5th period, 4th and 5th. So stay tuned for more details about the C lunch, 3 lunch schedule we'll be releasing to minimize numbers in the cafeteria. Next thing to talk about, guys, are library policies. Okay. Met last week with Charlotte Odom, the district lead librarian, to kind of figure out some ways we can use our library, but use it smartly under proper COVID precautions. So be on the lookout the next few days and next week for more details about how the library is going to work. Yes, we will allow teachers to reserve it. Yes, Miss Stacy Pollard, our phenomenal library aide, who's also doing so much great work down in the copy room right now, she will be available to open the library on certain afternoons. We'll be giving you more details about the library shortly. Also, want to let you know we will be offering textbook pickups for our remote learners starting on September 14th. We'll be doing that 1 day a week. There's going to be a process to do that. So those of you guys that are using your textbooks for remote planning and lessons, we will be allowed to pass out textbooks to our remote learners in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for more details about that. Last thing I want to talk about is PR1, Progress Report 1. That ends this Friday after school. So as we reminded you guys several times, please make sure that you have 1 test grade and 3 daily grades minimum in Skyward by this Friday afternoon. 1 test, 3 daily grades minimum for each one of your classes in Skyward by this Friday afternoon. And finally, want to end, we're doing announcements on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so I might make this the quote of the day tomorrow, who knows? But this is very, very important for all of us to remember, not just the tinker's mindset as we innovate and change and figure out the best way to move forward under very, very challenging COVID-19 circumstances. But I want to share this with you. Keep the most important thing, you guessed it, the most important thing. Keep the most important thing the most important thing. And so there's a lot coming at you right now. We are all working really, really hard, much harder than we probably worked in the past. Okay, and that is a very, very good thing, even though it is also a challenging thing. So I want to remind all of our teachers and staff members that the most important thing is the quality of our learning environment. So teachers, I know you're spending a lot of time on remote learning, getting good lessons uploaded to Microsoft Teams. I know it's taken some time to get your attendance right. Hopefully some of the steps we've taken today will help alleviate that time commitment, if even just a little bit. But remember the most important thing. What are you teaching, and how well are you teaching it to the kids in front of you every day? When that bell rings, what are you teaching, and how good are you at teaching it? That is the most important thing. Other than safety, the quality of our instructional program is the most important thing, at Jacksonville High School. So keep that most important thing the most important thing. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for all of your help and dedication to JHS.